the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians, and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Stoned Appetite. With your host, as always, it's me, Kip, and to my left, that other voice you heard was CB. How are you, CB?
I'm doing spectacular. I mean, we're coming off a pretty fun weekend stretch of good eating. Experienced the first cold snafu of the season.
That's not a word that people say, but yeah, you are correct. We did have a snafu. What the fuck that is?
Is it a snafu? Is it
It's
food?
a cold snap. I think it just stops at snap.
A cold spell?
A snafu is like a hiccup or a mistake, but either
Doing
way.
better than my words are right now.
Hey, there you go. And that's probably a quick shout out to our friends over at Dosed Edibles. We're plumb full of those puppies right now, and they have us. I wouldn't operate heavy machinery if I were me. Those things pack a punch. The woman that no one can hear, but she is there. Queen Evitha, how are you?
I'm fabulous.
Yay! I mean, after we're coming off of 2 episodes in a row where you didn't have a mic on the last one because we were testing out video stuff. So that's the first time we've gotten a fabulous in almost 3 weeks, Chris.
I think it's because the cold weather's setting in. It's back to her native roots. And also, it's one of her favorite holidays.
That is true. She is a Halloween queen, and we're going to get all into the nitty-gritty, figuring out what Eve's costume of the week is. Is she a double dresser where she goes like for the party with the crew and then circles back on the 31st because this is, in fact, her holiday? All of that and more on this episode of Stoned Appetite. Sprinkle in a little Matthew Perry conversation. Friendsgiving is going down, and we've got a doozy of an Eve fact right here at the end. Before we get into that, I want to give a quick shout-out to our friends at Connect for Health Colorado. We've had the pre-recording going just to make sure we plant the bug in everyone's ear, but the time has come. Those without insurance and those who need to make sure they're covered for 2024, the exchange opens this week. That's right, November 1st. You technically can already schedule meetings with specialists, with case managers, whatever you may need. Families' priorities change. Maybe you had a new addition this year. You need to make sure everybody is covered. Everyone's got all the needs they may have checked off. So swing over to connect4healthco.com or check them out on social media. I know what you're thinking. Why the fuck would I look at an insurance company on social media? It's because they answer frequently asked questions. They give you updates throughout the open exchange season, as well as they may be able to reply pretty quickly and get your needs taken care of. So check them out. That's the number 4, HCO is their social handle, but you can check out all of the exchanges programs for you, your family, maybe that weird, new stepson you got. You can get him covered too. Maybe you got married. You need to add someone on your plan. Check them out. Connect4healthco.com. They've got you covered.
And this isn't necessarily a part of the advertisement, but I will say on a side note, their representatives that they have are extremely helpful because I've used them before and they can explain everything to you because it's hard. Yeah, I mean, it's not black and white. And so, be sure to use those resources because they can set you up with what you need.
That was a good tag team right there. We just alley-ooped the shit out of it. Let's dive right into today's episode. We need to kind of circle back on something that we talked about 2 months ago, Chris. Y'all remember when I was guns blazing in an episode pissed off about someone just narking on all of our friends in the community?
Fired up.
Yeah. Well, we called some feedback and some guff from folks in regards to that. Well, the chickens had come home to roost. All of the data or all of the emails, all of the complaints have been released, whether it be because of screenshots. The calls are from within the house. But the team over at said Cannabis Lounge that's up in Adams County has been proven that they were the ones that were narking on fucking everybody with screenshots from people's social media handles. One reason we had them blocked, but also because of all of these things going through, they were literally reporting people on a weekly basis. Our friends in the community took a couple L's for it, but they signed themselves off social media. There's rumors that they've sold their Cannabis Lounge to Golden Meds, and I don't know if we'll see that couple back in the industry or what kind of role they will have. I'm pretty sure they work in other aspects of the scene, but oh boy, there are some pissed off people on the internet right now that it's all been validated. I mean, the owner of Tetra saw the letter. Shout out to Dwayne. Congratulations on having your license officially open, Tetra, this weekend. He got to see it. I mean, seeing someone like actively just like spit your name in emails to every government official. Oh man, I feel so bad for those teams that all got screwed over because of this one person. And so now everybody can kind of prove that, or they know who it was, and the internet is on fire about it. Woo! I mean, goodness gracious, they didn't get bullied off the internet, but I think they, in the right mind, they took their page down.
Well, it just goes to show you, just stay in your fucking lane. Like, if you do a good job, you're going to be successful, and don't fuck other people when your ship may be sinking.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you grab on to the
and that's not the reason your business wasn't successful. Just because there's these other companies that are doing,
things in the community. Yeah, well,
so just be better.
Yeah, and there obviously is some licensing issues involved as well. The government doesn't make it any fucking easier on anybody, which we'll probably talk about that again in detail and ad nauseum. But we've done that before with, Thomas Mitchell from the Westward, friend of the program, very knowledgeable person on the ins and outs of how the operations are, exist. But what we need some actual legislation that allows for private businesses to get one-off permits, whether it be for existing events that are coming up, or if it's a brand want to celebrate their 8th fucking anniversary, they should be able to host a party. And it's silly, it's stupid that we don't have the ability to do that. If it's one-off companies such as ourselves, or if it's people in the industry, it's preposterous that we don't have that access, especially as we see other states are going quick to that. And we talk a little bit more about that with Mile High Dave later this week, and we've talked about it in the past. But seeing all those emails come out and seeing that it was from someone supposedly in your industry or in your camp that is actively trying to sabotage everybody else is infuriating, and it pissed off a lot of folks in the Colorado scene. So we would have been remiss if we didn't at least talk a little bit more about it, because everybody likes hot tea.
Well done.
Thanks. Speaking of hot tea, Kip's Picks. We dropped our first episode last week with the tacos. Next week, I asked everybody what they wanted to do. Everybody said overrated. They were like, give us all of it. They were like, shit on restaurants. And I was like, fuck.
Ooh.
So we're going to wait a little while before we do the overrated, just because.
Holiday season.
Yeah, we'll do it like New Year's Eve, and then we'll say New Year, New Us. We're not going to be as mean in 2024, and knowing good and well snooze is fucking shit, as is My Neighbor Felix. But those would be our 1 and 2. We'll probably do something fun like dumplings or cheese sticks this week.
Don't shit on Eve with My Neighbor Felix.
I was like, what the fuck?
Homegirl loves it. Okay.
You did?
Let's just make sure that it's not fake news.
What did you think of the El Sampa tacos arabas that I gave you last week? That was the first time I've ever seen her smile.
I know.
They're awesome, huh? Evans and Zuni, and it's the tacos arabas. I think they're like $4, which is very steep because all the other tacos are $2 or $3. Oh yeah, and they're big flour puffy tortillas instead of small corns, like street style. Oh, they're fuck worth it.
The spices in it are good, and with the onions,
the caramelized onions are just like, they bring that sweetness. It almost feels like there's a barbecue sauce in there, but I'm pretty sure it's like Iranian and Syrian and Persian flavors on that meat. Oh my God, they're fucking immaculate. So y'all get ready. We're going to try to drop gems every Friday when doing normal reviews in between. But that one, I knew Eve liked that taco. It changed her whole outlook on My Neighbor. She's not going to go to My Neighbor Felix but once a week now that she's got to go to El Sampo. But I mean, we still have to talk about best things we ate last week. Obviously, Kip's picks, the El Sampo was in there, and one of the, I guess, reasons we started the series. But I'm sick of fucking talking, so I want to hear the best things that you ate because you were playing host all week.
I was. But I mean, shit. I guess starting off with the food truck that I hit up last week, Best Spuds.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
a hearty potato.
The funny thing was I was thinking, I hadn't done research on it, but I was thinking Best Spuds. I was like, what if this is like a baked potato food truck, and they just piled high like baked potatoes? That's a great idea. This truck is not that. They just do French fries, but they do it with like different toppings. Like I had this elote fries, which was like, the roasted corn, the crema, cheese. Very sturdy fries, and they hand cut their fries. So they're making like, homemade fries, and they're thin too. They aren't like thick steak fries. So they got a good crunch. But then I had like Buffaloes and Blues. So it was like their hand dipped fried chicken tenders over a bed of fries with blue cheese crumbles and buffalo sauce.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. So they do all kinds of things, but it's Best Spuds. I think they just have been around for maybe 3 weeks.
Oh,
so they're new on the scene. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Some lifelong friends that started this. But anyways, that was kind of earlier in the week.
Lifelong friends of yours, or they're friends with one another?
Friends with one another.
That's not pertinent. I thought you were saying they were your friends. I was like, oh, well, that's really fucking neat. You have insider knowledge. But they're just pals on the truck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, basically.
It'd be weirder if you were like, oh, they fucking hate each other, but this food is so good they can't turn each other away.
Yeah.
It's like a scorned love.
We've all been there.
Yeah. Capulet Montague.
So, and then, you know what? What was great was that went into Thursday night, and Thursday night...
we got our hands dirty.
We did, literally.
Well, figuratively, because we were wearing gloves.
Yes.
I didn't want people to think we contaminated the food.
But we ate them.
Yes, that is true. God, they were ugly.
But no, we went to Nana's. Is it Nana's Dumplings?
Yeah, so what we did is Nana's Dim Sum and Dumplings is the new spot located in the Highlands. They are also opening a location in Aurora. But Chris, wasn't that a hoot and a holler? We got to make our own dumplings. We got to church them up a little bit, work on our crimp game. But at the same time, all the other stuff slapped as well.
Dude, it was fucking, like, the food was great. But it was so much fun to get back there and take a stab at making dumplings, and really and truly, I know it's a hard process, but I had no idea how kind of difficult it is. Like, man, I mean,
it's not for anybody with rheumatoid arthritis. That is for certain.
No, your fingers are going to hurt.
Yeah, your back's going to hurt too because you pulled landscape duty. But these things, they have a litany array, I guess, of different styles. So you can get the basic XLBs, your soup dumplings. You can get truffle dumplings, which the truffle oil, it wasn't real truffle.
We had to try them.
Yeah, but let's talk about those dumplings. They were like the size of a tumor in your brain. They're perfect. They're just little guys that are so delicious. I would consider them like a savory gusher. They're not too terribly big. You can flick them up in the air and catch them with your mouth, just like you're a pet at SeaWorld. I mean, they are awesome. I could have eaten 66 of those.
Those were really fucking good. I remember when we got there and we asked them, like, what are dumplings? And then they told us, and we're like, oh, yeah, we'll have those. But they're kind of like, they kind of have like a hard little sear on the outside of them, but they're still soft and Yeah, gooey.
Friendly price point, right there in the low-high neighborhood. Very approachable menu. It channels a little bit of the Hop Alley vibes with the louder music, a little bit more lively scene in there. It's in the former Fifth String restaurant. So I think 4 of us got out of there for about $170, so $40 a head for putting down 15 fucking dumplings. We had every other appetizer and snack in the process. And like you said, it was a hands-on experience, and you can have the hands-on experience too. All you have to do is maybe let them know ahead of time and pay a small upcharge, like $3 fucking dollars or something. I don't actually know. I just made that up, but I think that's it.
But you get to go make your own, and then they'll cook them for you, and then bring them out for you to eat. And ours looked like somebody dropped them on the floor because of the crimping that we did. Some of the insides came out a little bit, but they were still good.
Yeah, they tasted good, and they kind of did all the heavy lifting. They showed us how to roll out the dough. They handled everything else.
It's that trick of like when you kind of fold it to make the puffy pouch for the dumpling. Like it's kind of like when you're tying a tie in that last trick that you have. That's where it throws you off.
Yeah, it's also like a make or breaker because like if you don't get it the first time around, everyone is watching you through that glass window, just laughing their bollocks off at you. And I was like, son of a bitch, I wish I could have just been on thumpling duty. You know, just little guys, twist and turn, toss them in the fryer. But at the same time, my crowns weren't that great, but we'll work on it. It just gives me more reason to go back for more.
And we should mention the green beans were really fucking good. We all enjoyed those.
The green beans were really good, as was the cucumber salad. So fun fact, green vegetables, while also good for you, can be delicious. Eve, you would really like this place. There's a milder option, but there's also some spicier stuff if you want to get channel your, that exotic flavor. Yeah, we'll invite you next time. I'm sorry we didn't bring you this time. We didn't know we were going to be working in the kitchen because this would have been a perfect, let's actually make content out of this instead of me and Chris just pressing our noses against the glass like kids at a candy shop.
What if
it
Eve,
wasn't good, though.
What if
It was
Eve
mine.
what if she would have been there and we go back there to roll dumplings and then all of a sudden Eve's just
That would be the least surprising thing ever. She's just like the fucking queen of the dumplings. She's like, oh, you want to do it this way? Why don't you do a reverse, 180? Or I'm going to do this one behind my back. She looks like she's got some hidden talents.
Yeah,
If not field hockey, dumpling rolling.
She was probably like Spielberg was really particular about his dumplings, so I had to learn how to make them.
All right, that's enough of me, P. So let's go.
Oh, and then, so Thursday night was a blast. Friday night, I had the future mother-in-law in town, so we went.
Does she like you? On a scale of 1 to Eve, how much does she like you? Eve loves us a lot. So is she more or less, does she like you more or less than Eve likes you?
On a Monday, she's about the same. Yeah,
What the fuck,
exactly.
Eve? You hate Chris on Mondays? That's our main day.
That is the day out of the week where I know I'm going to get to spend time with Eve.
It is a joy. I enjoy hanging out with her. I invited her to the Halloween party this weekend, Chris. But continue on.
Yeah,
about
so
hosting.
we won't have to talk much about it because everybody
well.
knows it's a special place that I always go to for celebrations, and it was Tavernetta. Knocked it out of the park. They're going into their winter and fall menu. And,
I love the season change menu.
Oh, dude, the pastas kind of change a little bit, and I will just say they had this stuffed pasta with a little bit of ricotta, and then, or maybe it might have been a different type of cheese, but a little bit of winter squash, and it was served in a brown butter sauce. And the brown butter was sweet and nutty. It was fucking fantastic. So that's all I'll say about that. And then Saturday, cooked at home. But then yesterday, we finished the week strong with you and I putting in a lunch sesh at King of Wings.
And you hit Jacques last night.
And let me tell you, dude, love the environment up there. It feels fun. The music they play, the background there is great. And we didn't get happy hour. I'm not sure when they're serving their happy hour. But the servings, the sizes are great. The price point's really nice. The pate was fucking out of this world good. But that French onion soup,
It looks like a fucking knee slapper, Chris.
Dude, and the best part about it is, like, on those cups, you know, when the cheese melts over and then it hardens on the side, you can just scrape off the side of the cup. But I will go back there many a times this winter for just a bowl of French onion soup.
And literally, we used to do the same for Brixton. And Brixton, obviously, sister restaurant, is a little refined in how it goes about its business. But Al Jacques, it's right next to Nana's and kind of in that run of like casual, approachable, lively fun. You know, they're going to do very well in the Highlands.
Oh yeah, I'll be up at that bar.
Yeah, it's an approachable price point, like you said, so it doesn't turn off the people whose parents pay their rent and things of that nature. Before we dive into anything from my weekend, I want to ask you all a quick question. What's your 1A soup on a cold season? Because I went gumbo for the first snow of the year. Chris obviously channeled his Le French Oignon, which I know Steph is a big French fan. So, Eve, what's your first soup of the Halloween season?
I bet I know.
If you say chicken noodle, you're fired.
There's like some thick potato soup.
Okay. Like a loaded? Okay. That sounds good. Spud Bros probably may have one for them in the wintertime. I don't know.
I remember back in the day that I used to look forward to beer cheese soup. My mom would always make that when it started getting cold.
Double Chin Chris loved beer cheese soup.
Yeah, and the accompanying beer cheese muffins that my mom would make.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh my god, they're so good.
Cornbread is usually my go-to, but someone made Cheddar Bay biscuits for the Halloween party to go with my gumbo. Yeah, like Red Lobster, Eve. I know when we talk fast casual dining, she gets excited. They were awesome. They were up there with the Olive Garden breadstick and the Texas Roadhouse bread, which, by the way, I think those are the pantheon of breads from fast casual.
The Outback.
And the Outback pumpernickel's great too, but with a loaded potato, do you go with the bread on that one on the side and like do a scoop, or is that just to add hot sauce and slurp?
I usually just take the soup, and if I have room for bread, maybe on the second bowl I go for it. I'm not more room for potatoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You like big chunks of potatoes.
And then little bacon bits that are in there, add a little crunch. Fuck, that sounds good. All right, we're going to have a soup challenge one day in studio where everyone makes one. We'll see how everyone performs.
I feel like we should also start a new segment where we check out some fast casual chains with Eve. And just no, but it would be great. Like, imagine we go to like Chili's and get the like 2 for $5.
I will fucking slaughter Chili. Shout out to Blake Blacksburg. It's okay to chain.
Yeah.
We need to. I didn't. Chris did. Did you? No. Well, that's not my fault.
I think if we peek back to some previous episodes, I think we can find a
the
link.
root of your love for fast casual dining. Have you ever been to a Cheddar's? They're not bad either. You know, and they're kind of in the macaroni grill pantheon. I think we should do once a month group production meetings at a fast casual dining restaurant of Eve's choosing, and then Chris's choosing, and then Kip's, and we rotate until we clip them all. Thoughts, Eve? One Monday a month. We all go. Nice save.
Way to plug in to get.
It's been.
Well, the good thing about them is they're going to take you right back.
Dollaritas are also back on the menu at Applebee's. I think that should be something we. See, I think that's probably the last time I went to Applebee's as well.
You remember when Applebee's first hit the block, though? Like, we hit it up.
They were here for so long. The stained glass windows where it said neighborhood in there. God. We're doing Dollaritas this week. God damn it, Chris. I mean, we eat a lot of local restaurants. I think we could go out to eat once at a not local spot.
And we'll think of it more about supporting the staff rather than...
The staff. Yeah. They're right next to they're opening right next to my house. Oh, we're neighbors now. The one on Wadsworth? So I don't think I've had that before. Is it good? Have you had?
Del Taco's not good.
I don't know if I've had it. We didn't have Del Taco where I grew up, so I don't know if I've had one.
I've had a Del Taco
I've
before.
had a Jack in the Box taco. That actually doesn't suck. I'm a trash human. Everyone knows that. I eat Popeyes on a regular basis.
That's different, though. Also, but you've been to
Really?
Waffle House, right? You've been to a Waffle House, right? Okay. I was going to say we would go there.
Because we'll go there first.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rent it out like Russell Wilson rented it out for Ciara, but
Right.
I'll get us a table for 3, maybe even 4 if Memes wants to go. Yeah. Okay, so the best thing I ate last week was my own fucking gumbo. Those dumplings were goddamn delicious, though.
Yep.
Friday, kept it cash. Sunday, chicken wings were much better than the gumbo. King of Wings is just better than everybody else's chicken wings. They're just better. There's nothing else to say about it. They tried to get us with the XXX sauce. It's never to the point where it makes my beehole hurt.
No.
We have not gotten that.
But
far.
at the same time, I think if you manage to put down 5 of them, like you eat wings,
batch?
I imagine it could get a little.
Well, that's the best part about it. You can get that mix and match. So you can get the spicy Thai, which has a little of that sweet flavor, lets the grill marks and the grilling flavor come through a little bit more. Whereas that vinegar-based buffalo or super hot habanero kind of gives you that hot sauce instead of all that grilled chicken. But that's a fucking great spot.
It's such a good vibe up there, too.
Yeah. We also did the Halloween party, Chris. I knocked that out of the park. I looked just like Chef Linguini. My lanky ass running around, falling all over myself because I ate a couple mushrooms and then drank a bunch of wine. It was a great time, which leads me to my next question. Did you celebrate Halloween this weekend? And what did you dress up? What did you wear? Eve, did you dress up for Halloween?
I dressed up last weekend.
On the 21st weekend? Well, someone just a little premature.
Wow.
And I don't mean Kip.
You couldn't just wait to. Why'd they have it so early?
What'd you dress up as? Slutty Wonder Woman. A T-Rex.
Barbie.
Block of cheese. Bart Simpson. The LL Bean founder.
That was a good one.
Thank you.
What?
Whoa.
We need to see photos.
Yeah. Do you have pictures? I know you have one. Don't even. I don't care. The spikes? Well, so did it.
How could you sit down with spikes?
Well,
Were they
Chris, they're
retract-
retractable. Duh.
Oh.
Kind of like Bowser.
Oh, they're zip ties. Look at you.
Oh, that's actually really clever.
She's so crafty.
That the only pictures you have don't show your back, which sounds kind of perverse saying that to an employee. Don't submit that to HR. That gets the ball. Okay, cool. That's a really clever way to do it with the zip, because I was thinking Bowser, big,
Yeah, me too.
Geometry cones that were going to be made of foam or something. Way to go, Evitha. So what'd you do this weekend? I thought you were the snow person. Oh, I'm from Maine. I'm Eve. Chick-fil-A. Oh, did you one up somebody this isn't snow. Wait till you have to dig yourself out and walk uphill both ways to school.
Eve's like, yeah, I'd chop wood in shorts in this weather.
I feel like it's. That's fair. Well, I'm sorry. Whenever you're left at home to your own devices, just come on over to our house and bring some Pollo Loco and we'll watch funny movies. We're already in Christmas season. Aren't you excited? Well, all right. That's fair.
Tomorrow, though.
I did watch that Fall of the House of Usher. That's pretty good. I thought it was going to be scary. It wasn't scary. So I'm a big boy. Brave.
Hoorah.
Yeah.
I have a question. Who do you think would survive the horror movie and who would die first? I'm going to give you some parameters. It's a slasher film, let's say. And we're all in a cabin in the woods together for the weekend. Who dies?
Are you the slasher, or is it a third-party slasher? Because that's what I'm worried most about, is that the calls are from within the house and Eve is trying to kill us, Chris. In which case, I'm going to die first.
Yeah, I think she would pick you off first.
But if this is like a bear situation where you just have to outrun your friend, Eve is dying first. Because I can run faster than Eve, I think. I hope. But if we're stuck in a house, there's a good chance I'm going to go first. My situational awareness is just so low. I don't really have. I wouldn't even know that someone's not. I'd be listening to podcasts and just get my throat slit pretty quick. I'll be the first to admit it. I think Chris would probably last the longest. And I have the sneaking suspicion Eve is the bad person in this hypothetical.
So I would have a lot of defensive wounds on my forearms.
on your kneecaps. For those that don't know, Eve is short. It's like kind of like Chucky.
Eve, but I
who
mean,
are your guesses?
if it's an outside force, if we're all like, hey, we're in this together, let's not get killed.
It's probably still me, isn't it?
I don't know.
I run like a fucking antelope. Huh? I wasn't paying attention. That's fair. That's a 50-50 chance that, you know what? It sounds like you already had this movie. Are you writing a movie about us? Huh. Well.
Oh, yeah, because I would never go out in the woods to be the tough guy. That's where you went wrong.
Yeah.
But I could do
you
that.
You don't shop at REI for nothing.
I
Chris.
could do that as a way to throw y'all off the scent and scream and then come back in and slice your throat.
Yeah, I could see that. Chris could be the killer.
Do you think I would shoot you or knife you?
Knife. Yeah, you're and maybe even like one of those long blades like your family used back in like the sharecropping days. What? He's from Alabama. I can say that.
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah. The scythe? Scythe?
See? Something.
We're going to have to ask our Midwestern constituents that deal with corn a little bit more regularly than us on that one. Well, that was a really good hypothetical, Eve. Here's the hypothetical. Give us an Eve fact of the day. You can just edit that out. What? I don't know. You looked at something, so I thought. So you didn't help kids cheat in school for sure. And also, what is this a reverse Keeping Up with the Joneses? Why don't you come sit on over here on the couch and switch with Chris? Let's talk this through. So here's a Halloween follow-up. Let's say two people dressed up as a princess for class. Did that shit all over your favorite holiday?
Was it just around drawings?
I just gave a hypothetical where
Yeah.
you and somebody else, you were a princess and someone else dressed up as a princess. I wish.
What-
you. Hey, will you watch a lot of Action Bronson's "Fuck That's Delicious" and get back to me? Get it? By comparison, I want you to. We want to be better, and he does it at the best. Yeah, it's a really good food travel show. But I'm worried about you, Eve. This level of like competition's not healthy.
So what if you looked over and somebody was drawing a moon while you were, and you looked over and theirs was vastly better than your moon?
Would you accept defeat?
Or would you scrabble on their paper? Okay. Listen to heavy metal and then
Linkin Park.
yeah. Take it on the wood when you're out there chopping.
Go out there and just go split some wood, honey, if you're mad at Martha.
Eve has somebody copied Eve this morning. Fuck.
Don't worry, the house will be warm for winter. Okay, well, I have a random hypothetical for you after that Eve fact. So may he rest in peace. Sir Matthew Perry passed away over the weekend. And it made me wonder, while this one didn't really shake me to my core, as a fan of Friends, the television show, it just didn't really shake me. Who would be an actor or an actress? Eve, this could be someone you worked with on set with Spielberg. Chris, this could be someone who helped mold your youth. But if someone passed away and we saw they were like, who would it be like, oh, fuck, that one really hurts. Like, I may need to take a second. And why? Prince. That's fair. Okay, that's a good one to have. So like an Adam Sandler, Jim Carrey? You can't separate the art from the artist, can you, Eve?
What's your beef with Adam Sandler? You don't think he's been funny at all?
Oh, I know what her problem is with him. Sounds like a fucking dream.
I mean, yeah, if I got to that point one day and I...
Didn't Uncut Gems do pretty well? I mean, I don't think anyone's...
Billy Madison?
She's like, yeah, it went...
Happy
I now
Gilmore.
pronounce you Chuck and Larry. You really
Happy
didn't
Gilmore?
hit for me. No, Chris, she doesn't. I can tell you right now.
I don't think you have to be in golf to...
It doesn't matter. I see where it is.
Okay.
And that's fair. You gave a good list of people. Robin Williams was a really good one. Chris, do you have an answer?
I think there's a few. I think De Niro would be big.
Yeah. I don't know if he'd be. I'd be like, yeah, that's kind of what happened. Old people die.
Yeah.
He's old as
Yeah.
shit. He lived a full life, though. And he did definitely shape. You're older than both of us, so he probably shaped a lot of, like you saw Raging Bull in high school.
Yeah, I also think like Harrison Ford, like growing up watching the Indiana Jones, like that was, I mean, who didn't want to have a whip and a fucking cowboy hat on? Yeah, H. Ford would suck.
Okay. That's all. I was just curious. I think those are all the same. I agree wholeheartedly. Keanu Reeves is on my very short list.
But he's
from Bill and
he
Ted
seems
to
like
Keanu.
hell he has a horse.
Yeah. He feels like he's going to outlive us all. But that one would kind of be like, oh, fuck, he did a lot of great things in the community, and you never hear a bad story about him like Eve's role models. So that's one that I kind of held in that regard. But at the same time, we can't all choose Bill Murray. I think that pretty much wraps up this week's episode. Before we leave, don't forget Friendsgiving tickets have gone on sale. You can get them through the newsletter, link in our bio, things of that nature. Friendsgiving with Chef Tajahi Cook and Chef Loca, a.k.a. Dana Rodriguez, from Working Class Super Mega BN, Cantina Loca, and Casa Bonita. Those chefs and many more in the community are teaming up. All of them are going to do one dish, and we're going to have a big family-style feast in the new headquarters. It's going to be pretty fucking cool. November 18th, we're very excited about raising some money for what we call Mads Giving. So before we leave, did we miss anything?
No.
All right. Well, until next episode, don't forget, stay high, stay hungry.
Be spooky.
Cheers.
Cheers.